Hello and welcome to another episode of Common Chaos Live with me, Rauchenwald, on this sunny Thursday afternoon. I hope you all had a great week. It's been a while since we had a stream. As always, before we jump into it, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, as a reminder, we have a Q&A active, which means whatever you would like to know, at the top it says, what would you like to know? Submit your questions here, click there, and then submit your questions so I see it here on my screen, and then I can actually answer it. Now, I also have to be honest, I'm sure that a lot of you are waiting for, I don't know, like a lot of updates or so, but I've been quite busy and focused on developing some new software stuff. And as a result, I did not follow, like a lot of updates, which may or may not be good depending on how you look at it. Personally, I consider it good because it also means that, let's hide the message. It also means that I'm quite zen and stress-free about the recent development. Anyway, I know that those of you that are here that don't have a specific question are curious about what's going on. So let's switch to my screen and... What I already said. You're not listening. Yeah. So my wife is also already so used to the usual disclaimer that she didn't hear me say it. Anyway, so obviously price of pi, or not obviously, or the price of pi has been declining a little bit, as we can see. So from the original launch, we actually first made it up to around almost $3, and since then we've seen a steady decline. Now, as I've mentioned in recent streams, obviously in the short term, the only thing that drives the price is going to be news and speculation. Since the original launch, we didn't have any great or positive news. Yes, we had the Pi domain feature launched, but outside of that, there were no extra exchange listings. We haven't heard anything about Binance listings or not. If at all, there's just been a lot of like random posts. So if you search for Pi Network Binance, then you'll find a ton of posts that claim that it's not listed, that it's declined and whatnot, but not a single one is actually from Binance. Those are all just random users on Binance Square that share what they think or what they believe or whatever. So I still don't think that a Binance listing is off the table, to be honest, but that would also only help temporarily. In the long run, as we covered in previous episodes, it obviously comes down to use cases. Now, one of those use cases is obviously the Pi domains. So that's a thing that's still ongoing, the domain auction, where you can see that so far a total of 3 million Pi have been placed in bids so far, which is not little. As you can see, even at the current low value, it's 1.6 million. Hi, Ori, great to have you here. Hi, Jay Berry, also great to have you here. However, if we compare that with the number of migrations, so we have almost 3 million Pi in bids for domains so far, but on the other hand, we can see that just yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days, no, yesterday, basically 10 million Pi got migrated. Now, obviously, there's a certain number of users that lost their passphrase and so on. So not everyone that actually got migrated will have access to their Pi, and there are also users that don't have a reason or don't plan on selling. There are users that forgot about the app altogether. So like it really doesn't mean a lot to see that 10 million Pi got migrated in one day or so. But obviously, there's always a certain number of users that gets their coins, didn't configure a lockup, and just wants to cash out, especially because they see that the price is slowly declining and they rather sell now for 56 cents than maybe in a week for 46 cents or so, which is a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because as long as people keep selling for that low value, and there are not many reasons for people to buy Pi, the value will just steadily decline. Yeah, it's a pity the way it is, but that's the short-term thing of it. Now, nobody knows when there will be some big development in terms of either the core team releasing something, or Binance announcing a listing, or some other big exchange announcing a listing. or any of the third-party developers that are creating apps in the Pi ecosystem, launching an app that actually creates huge demand. So obviously, if you would be tempted to right now make the gamble, okay, I'm going to sell now for 56 cents and I'm going to buy later in a month, in 2, in 3 back for 20, it may work out and you might make a profit. It may also not work out, and tomorrow there's a big announcement or so. So nobody knows which way this goes. Yeah, personally, I'm going to hold my Pi because, again, I mean, you do with your Pi what you want. I've said it often enough. If you want to sell, sell. If you want to buy more, buy more. If you just want to hodl, also great. So that's completely up to you. I'll definitely judge you for your decision. So that's my right. Your right is to do with it what you want. My right is to judge you for it. I believe selling makes no sense because no matter if it's at 50 cents or at $1 or at $2 or at $3, simply because of the time it took to get those coins. So this is a quick reminder for everybody that hasn't heard it already a gazillion times from me. But if you consider that right now, it takes you a year. If we don't have referrals, we don't have any bonuses, lockup bonus, and so on. Yeah, it takes you a year to earn 24 Pi. So why would you sell what took you a year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 years to get for 50 cents per Pi? When it takes you, as I said, when in a whole year, you can only earn back 24 of those Pi. So it feels to me that everybody selling now is like being too short-sighted. I might be proven wrong. The price might continue to go further down, eventually to be at 1 cent or maybe even lower, who knows, yeah. And then everybody who cashed out at 50 cents, $1, 30 cents, whatever, is going to be the hero. Good for them. But if it doesn't make a difference in your life, so if you sell now and you can get, I don't know, $50, $500, yeah, and you don't need that money because you earn enough to pay your bills and so on, why would you cash out now? So, but that's just my 2 cents here, yeah. Let's deal with the chat a little bit since the Q&A stuff seems to be like empty right now. I'm disappointed at this point. I've gotten so upset that I don't even care if it goes to 0. It's gone already to me, so why let it matter? Never invest what you can afford to say goodbye to. I'm not 100% Junior. I'm not 100% sure if you mean you're disappointed with the price development, or if you mean you bought some at a higher price and now you're disappointed, or like personally, I'm not disappointed. Today I took a little bit of time to answer some of the YouTube comments. As said, I've been a little bit in a focused hole developing some stuff the last 10 days or so already. So I didn't get to that either, but I also saw that 1 or 2 comments, so there were not that many, but 1 or 2 comments that were like, I'm so disappointed in the price. When will the core team do something about the poor price? And I still don't. So I mean, it might seem or sound a little bit like a contradiction, but I don't consider the current price low or bad, considering that we just recently launched. I mean, now it's like 2 months ago, okay, or almost 2 months ago. But again, if we compare it with other coins, so I mean, let's take our favorite bad example, High Dollar, yeah. High Dollar actually also had an original higher value, and people also earned high by pressing a button once per day. And then, however, the team changed the rules and said you have to buy a small amount in order to unlock a bigger amount. So there was actually a requirement for people to invest money, and then the team just screwed up royally and it kept developing like this. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. So there people invested money and waited, although the development went faster, but they also had way bigger budget and way bigger teams and whatnot, yeah. And in comparison to that, and again, if we so quickly look at the value, so it went up, it never went as high as Pi, even though it had a lot of use cases planned and many of them delivered even, yeah. But then it drastically fell, so we can see how fast it went down, and now it's just slowly declining further. And even if we look on a shorter time, even now there is no upward movement whatsoever. Now, if you compare it with Pi, where not a single user had to invest any money, it's a much healthier graph. I understand this is a much shorter time frame and so on, yeah. But that what makes it so different. So why I don't fault people if they say, okay, I want to sell some, so I got something for pushing my button. But just the fact that nobody invested any money makes me super sad. I also didn't invest any money, so I mean, it's not true that nobody invested any money. There were already, during the enclosed mainnet and even before that, people willing to basically sell you stuff in exchange for Pi. And obviously, if I sell you this 8-ball in exchange for Pi, that I paid with euro or dollar for that 8-ball, which means then technically I have, or indirectly I invested money into Pi because I gave you something that I spent dollars or euro or something else on to get some Pi from you. So, but the majority of users didn't invest any money. So, but my core point is like, why bother selling now? Yeah, it's going to take till next year. It's going to be frustrating to watch. Ideally, we have some positive news here and there. So to get some spikes up in between and so on, yeah. Otherwise, it's probably, or it might go sideways and slightly down for a year. And by then, we should have use cases. If we then don't have use cases, then sadly, the project might be considered failed or so. But yeah, like I'm not unhappy with the price, in terms of considering that we just launched, that there are not many use cases and that not a single user had to invest any money. And however, on the other hand, I said, I'm also not willing to sell for that price because, yeah, like I could earn, of course, I have more referrals and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But again, a new user can earn an astonishing 24 Pi, and that is assuming that the mining rate stays the same in a year. So, why would you sell what they can only earn in a year for free for $12? Yeah. Anyway, so still not. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yeah. So I think, yeah, of course it's too early. So far, the project is a success, in my opinion, because again, the launch was spectacular. Again, I know there were people that expected it to be valued at, I don't know, $10, $100, $100,000. But if we're realistic, like it launched, so there was no investment required, and it launched in the top 15 cryptocurrencies among all cryptocurrencies that are tracked on CoinMarketCap. So if that's not a great launch, I don't know what is. And since then, yes, we had an initial rally and now a slow sell-off, but we also don't have really huge drops, and that's without having any great use cases. Yeah. Yeah. Let's address this one first. So your boy Prince, I will address your question next, but that fits better right now to this. The big question now is if merchants can operate with the current valuation dynamics. Obviously, I mean, those that are listing or accepting Pi, they are still among the believers in quotes, because if you have a coffee shop or so and you're accepting Pi, then you probably will not bother to every day then go to an exchange and sell your Pi, so you have fiat. So you probably just accept Pi as a kind of like marketing aspect, so to attract a few extra new customers. You get paid in crypto, and then you probably just hodl, so that whatever you make 5% of your revenue in Pi, you hodl that 5%. And if it is in 10 years, I don't know, worth much more, then you are super happy about it. Reminds me of 50 Cent, who, I'm not sure if I find the article, so I'm not going to Google it right now, but you can look it up. At some point, he was about to declare bankruptcy, but then he actually realized that he still has like $5 or $7 million, because years earlier, he accepted Bitcoin for one of his albums and forgot about it. And so the Bitcoin over the years increased so much in value that he still had millions. Yeah. Yeah, so what do I think about Pi ads? I think that's one of the things I bookmarked, or I did not. I actually think that's a good idea. So it's one of the use cases. There are obviously millions of users that still use Pi Network, and advertisers want to get their ads in front of those users. And on one hand, we have the ads that are integrated within the Pi Network app, which are currently using a third-party ad network. So which is also the reason why there are scam platforms that are able to put their ads that like claim like whatever free Pi airdrop, click here, and then they try to scam your or phish your passphrase. But Pi Network launching their own ad platform obviously makes sense, so that basically advertisers can put their ads in front of Pi Network users, and Pi Network users are a very, very dedicated specific audience. So if I were to launch a similar one-click-a-day app, for example, it would make much more sense to drop a couple $100,000 on having ads in the Pi Network app to attract users for my new project than doing the same on Facebook, where I just will not reach people as targeted in quotes, so the right audience. In general, if I have any kind of crypto project, for example, even if a company like, let's say, Ledger, if they add support for Pi Network's blockchain to the hardware wallet, then it would make sense for them to say, okay, now we're going to run some ads on Pi Network to basically get users to buy our hardware wallets. Yeah. So I think it's a good idea. It also allows the people that develop apps for Pi Network specifically to earn more Pi, so they can offer the apps for free. So you could make a basic, simple, I don't know, to-do list app or so, and then have some ads in it, and you earn Pi through that. And again, advertisers have to pay with Pi, so it's an extra use case. But it only helps if the Pi ecosystem actually brings out some apps that create demand. So far the most prominent app that is apparently well developed, I haven't looked into it in detail for a bunch of reasons, is the Poker on Pi app. So, but from what I saw from comments and posts on Reddit or so, it's apparently working very well. I'm not using it because it's technically illegal gambling, because they don't have licenses for operating or offering their services within Europe. There may be exceptions because it's with crypto instead of with fiat currency, but I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot answer that. So for me, I just stay away from it. But for the Poker on Pi app, for example, integrating Pi ads would also be a good way to say, okay, watch 5 ads and get another 100 poker chips. And, you know, like it creates a dynamic where you can create freemium apps where users don't have to pay, but through ad revenue, you still make sure that your costs are covered, you make a small profit, and your users can enjoy the app without actually paying. So I feel like the Pi ads are going to be an important factor and a great use case, but they on their own don't work unless Pi Network itself replaces the regular ad networks that they currently have in the app with Pi ads as well. So, and even then, advertisers first have to learn about the possibility to buy Pi coins and use them to pay to place ads in front of users when they push their button every day. So I think it's a great addition, but just like Pi domains, it's only part of the whole problem or challenge. The core issue or the core challenge is the ecosystem and getting apps that work well on the ecosystem. All for Us says, think of it as a piggy bank if you can and are willing to invest, buy per interval and hold it and hope for an upward soaring trend in the future. Just saying, in general, when you invest, dollar cost averaging is always a good idea. So I'm gonna, just for those of you that haven't heard that phrase before, so plenty of graphics that explain it. But if you every month or every week or every day buy a little bit, then you actually achieve a better average price, because on the days when it gets lower, you buy more. On the days when it's higher, you buy less. And on average, you basically achieve a better result. That obviously requires, however, that at some point it goes upwards. For me personally, I have still, I don't want to say huge hopes, because hope is the wrong word. I see that the project still has huge potential. And however, I also probably will get a decent amount of Pi, which then defies or removes the reason to throw extra money into the project, you know. So, but if I would only have a little bit, so if I would not have covered the project for, I don't know, 5 years and through referrals eventually, even if only a small percent will pass KYC, will potentially still get, I don't know, 50,000 pi or so. I probably would dollar cost average into the project. Yeah, but that's just my personal opinion. Don't consider this as advice. You should throw your money into the project, make your own decisions there. So I just feel it's undervalued. So of course, right now with no real utility, one could say it's valued fairly or maybe even overvalued. Yeah. But if we consider future utility, then it's massively undervalued, considering how hard it is to earn. Yes, existing users that were there for the last couple of years have higher balances. But again, I'm not saying Pi is like Bitcoin or is the same as Bitcoin or so, but with Bitcoin and with almost every other coin, it works the exact same way, that users that joined early could earn or mine more and have a bigger balance, and users that join now have a harder time earning bigger amounts or mining bigger amounts or whatever. Yeah? So it's the same. And I think it's undervalued right now if we consider that within the next 6 months to 1 year, we should actually get to see more proper use cases. So that's what it will come down to. And with a few of the right use cases, it will give people a reason to buy Pi coins because they just cannot earn that many. Yeah. Anyway, so if you have issues with your app, the Pi Network subreddit is actually the best place to ask. So there you can also include if you don't have Karma to post, then you can share in the weekly discussion and help post. Just write in your comment. You can attach a screenshot of what you're seeing, and then basically somebody there will be better able to help you out than the chat here. Gamers World, I expected Pi to launch at 0.00001, something low, so I'll never be disappointed whatever price it hits. Yeah, I honestly didn't have any expectation, but so I really forced myself to not set myself an expectation and reminded myself, hey, you did not invest money, you just pushed a button. It doesn't matter if it launches for $10 or for a fraction of a cent. You got it for free. There was no risk involved or so. Yeah. But yeah, obviously I consider the launch was quite a success. Yeah. Pi Network has been very interesting as a study in general understanding of economics around the world. Can you elaborate on that? I'm not sure. Yeah. What about article for listing on Coinbase? I haven't seen any. If you ever share a link, feel free. It's interesting. So those two, BD and Loving Beanie Blooms, yeah, that's a funny nickname, by the way. You keep sharing a lot of things without actually sharing any facts. So it feels like if we look at the facts, so let's sum up today with looking at the facts for everyone that keeps telling you that Pi has failed. Or even today, I saw a post or a comment again that says Pi is a scam. Yeah. So let's look at the facts. So first of all, nobody was forced to invest any money into the project, which means by definition, other than people that choose to accept Pi as a payment or support the project in some other way or buy coins now that it's listed, nobody lost anything or could lose anything, which means nobody got scammed, because to get scammed, you have to lose something. Yeah? That's the first aspect. Now, looking at it as like it's a failed project or so. So again, a project that took years in development and by far isn't done or polished in every corner or aspect, had a launch event and got listed on 5 exchanges in total, out of which 4 are listed in the top 10 exchanges worldwide. And for the first couple of days, actually immediately ranked among the top 15 cryptocurrencies worldwide. Again, without users requiring any investment whatsoever. Yeah? So not only did the team over the years deliver on what they promised, and that is that it's a cryptocurrency that you can earn on your phone, so that it's accessible to everyone, and that will be listed and tradable, which it is by now. And it also launched with an incredible initial value, considering again that most users, or the 99% of users, did not invest even a penny into the project. So yeah, now for the future outlook, we have a running blockchain, a huge KYC verified user base that's growing by the day, which means it's the only cryptocurrency out there that does not or will not cause a lot of regulatory issues because of anonymity that other cryptocurrencies might offer, at least temporarily. Yeah. So a huge user base, a growing user base, an aspect to the project that makes it stand out among all other cryptocurrencies, and that is the fact that everybody is KYC verified. Another aspect that people can mine it on or earn it on their phone, so that it doesn't require expensive hardware. It doesn't reward people with money over people that don't have money. Yes, if I have a lot of money, I can buy more Pi coins now than some poor person somewhere else. But I cannot set up a mining farm. I cannot buy, 100 ASIC miners and mine more than you on your phone. So while it's not perfectly equal, because rich people will always have a way to buy more stuff, so use assets they have to trade them to get more than you have right now. But it's more equal than most other cryptocurrencies in terms of distribution to users, because every user has the same chance. We have Pi domains is a nice gimmick, and maybe there will be further use cases for them in the future. We have a Pi ad network, which again, as shared by itself, will not do much, but in combination with future apps will actually help. And we have an ecosystem where, especially within probably from now, I would say 4 to 10 months, we will see should see more and more apps that are professionally developed, because before the listing, it didn't make any sense for developers or agencies to bet their money on developing or dedicating resources to develop apps for Pi when it wasn't even clear if or when it will be listed and what kind of value it will have. Whereas now that it's listed and trading with still a couple 100 million in daily trading volume, it actually makes sense for developers and agencies to develop apps for Pi to basically earn their share of Pi from the Pi user base. Yeah. So yeah, everything that's KYC related or so, for the majority of users, KYC takes 5 minutes or less. For all the users where it doesn't go far, yes, there are countries where there are still issues, like I think in India or somewhere, where there is also Gandhi or a picture of Gandhi on the IDs, where the AI in quotes, or the algorithm that runs the image recognition picks the wrong image. So instead of picking your image, it picks the one of Gandhi. And then obviously you cannot pass KYC like this. So there are still a few issues, but the core team also delivered on the first and only decentralized KYC solution that scales incredibly well, which by itself would be another product that they could eventually launch. Although I'm sure it would require a lot of legal research. So just like there is Yoti and other KYC providers that basically offer KYC services for businesses and whatnot, yeah, and charge around $1 per KYC verification, Pi could actually at some point offer their KYC system to other businesses and be cheaper, while at the same time allowing the users that perform the verifications to earn more Pi. So that would be an incredible extra use case that the core team can launch outside of anything third parties can launch. Either way, like if you, my big question is, if you feel like the project is failed or they're not transparent and whatnot, yeah, then why are you still around? Why not just uninstall the app and not spend your time watching videos about the project? I mean, the core team isn't perfect, but any claim that they are not transparent or not sharing updates is, in my opinion, ridiculously wrong, because while they don't share updates every day or so, they don't have a marketing department for that matter either, yeah. They have a blog, and in that blog, they regularly share important updates about everything that's going on, yeah. in the app, on the home screen, you see the most recent and most important thing you have to do, or that's relevant. And so there might be edge cases where lack of specific information causes trouble for single users. But after, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands comments I've seen over the years on my YouTube channel alone, every time a person complains about lack of information, or I don't know how often I've seen a comment like, I make a video about something because I know people look for it, and then the comment is, I wish the core team would share that information. And then I can only reply, well, they did. I found that information in the white paper here, or in that blog post there. So in the majority of cases, when people complain about lack of transparency or lack of updates, it seems to simply be people not bothering to read any of the updates. I also don't read all of them, but before I run around making claims or screaming or complaining or something, I actually bother to try to check the official updates to see if the information is in there. Anyway, with that, we reached the end of today's stream, as it's shown here somewhere. We're gonna stick with the weekly format for now. Unfortunately, I can already take that away. I'll do my best to collect whatever news happens and so on for the next episode already, and answer the comments. But as mentioned, I'm currently really completely in tunnel vision developing some stuff, and time is limited, whatnot. I still hope that you were able to get something away out of today's streams, and hope to see you all then either on Discord or next Thursday for another episode of Common Chaos Live. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great rest of the day and rest of the week, and then see you all soon again. Till then, bye-bye.